What's up, y'all? I am imagining all the faces of my closest friends and family and communities from high school, college, the brown folk, whoever is watching this. I am glad you're here. I'm not an influencer. That's not the goal here. But I did feel the nudge to start vlogging again, which, again, this is take 3 of what I thought was a phase, but it keeps coming back. But this time feels different. Life is a lot different. And yeah, I just needed an outlet in the craziness that life is right now, and this is one that I always loved. Social media can stress me out a lot, but documenting and having a place for memories and sharing the journey as we go along has always been so sweet to me. I grew up watching YouTube, and my favorite thing was just that they got to share as real people doing real things one day at a time. When I graduated college, I didn't know what to do with myself. I loved the people, the places, the things. It was also special to me for 3.5 years. That was my life. It was a major shift. I felt a lot of grief. I felt a lot of burnout, and I just needed some space. So earlier this year in January, I went to New York City, which I have lived there previously with my school for like a semester, and it was one of the most life-changing things I've done, and I just fell in love with the city. And so when I needed to escape somewhere, I chose New York City. I didn't really have a plan. I was very broke after college. I was just trying to figure out next steps, whatever that looked like. I was wrestling a lot with the pressure of not having a job lined up. If you don't know my story, me and my sister started a small business when I was a sophomore in college, and that's what it was. It was a small business. It often felt like a lemonade stand. I say that all the time because when you are building something, it doesn't quite feel real ever. Like, it still to this day is something I have to remind myself I get to do. It was definitely part of the crash out close to graduation, especially as a brown kid who just has high expectations for myself, let alone the standards of the culture that I'm a part of. I was trying to make it all feel real. And so I took a self-made sabbatical to New York, and it made me feel alive. Each day I could make it my own, and it was uncertain, but it was mine. 2 weeks in, I was pretty certain I was meant to just do this for a while. I was like, I'm gonna figure out a way to stay. Started going and I started going and talking to a bunch of coffee shops, and I was just like, can I just work here for a little bit? I have experienced Starbucks and I guess being a chai barista, but it didn't matter because the coffee shops didn't want me for the unforeseeable future. They didn't like that. So I was so confused at that point. I was like, dang it. I thought this was gonna work out. I thought I was gonna just stay and keep on doing this adventure and not go back to a bunch of uncertainty or questions. And I got on the subway at some point feeling defeated, and I was going to Chinatown to get $3 dumplings because it's all I could afford. And this man walks on Subway with a backpack on. A piece of paper falls out, and I look down, and it's a newspaper article. I'm trying to make out what it says, but it's all blurry. Like, I literally cannot get my eyes to focus, and I thought I was going crazy. And I look back, the man's gone, and I look back down, and suddenly a headline becomes clear. Big black bold letters, and all it says is, "What are you waiting for?" And I just remember in that moment having to take a breath, because it was a moment of clarity. It was realizing that it wasn't that I didn't have anything to go back home to, it was that I was so hesitant and I was so scared about what this next step held for me. But it became very clear in that moment, all I had to do was show up. What was I waiting for? I had a family who loves me and who I'm so beyond grateful to know and love. Parents that are supportive even when I'm not doing the conventional thing. A sister who I somehow get along with and who is willing to go on this crazy journey with me. I have friends who I cherish and love and who hold me up when I can't on my own. I had God who has been faithful to me, who has been faithful to generations before me. I have a life worth living. It was just me kind of standing in the way of myself from what the next thing could be and the possibilities. So coming to terms with all this through a newspaper article was crazy, but it became a bit of the theme of the year, which was just show up, because what are you waiting for? So here we are. It's the end of the year. It was a year full of the unexpected. It wasn't perfect, but there was so much growth, going back to the basics of what my parents taught me, of what I know to be true, really setting a foundation for what's to come. I don't think I've ever been so excited for the next thing. I think there's just so much beauty in understanding you have no control over what tomorrow holds, but the way that you respond is what matters. I'm certain I want to remember it all. The small moments, the big moments, the ups and the downs. I want to remember it and I want to share it with people who may not live a life like mine, but can resonate with the fact that we're all just figuring it out together. I feel like vlogging gives me accountability and a discipline that I'm craving, a way to show up more consistently for myself and for others. I just have to say that none of this would be possible without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's changed my life and he loves to do that. He's the reason I can be grateful for all the things I have in the midst of heavy times in the world we live in. And I know even the silly desire to do this is something that's from above, and I hope that this shines more light on my Creator who is writing my story than it does me, because that's what matters to me at the end of the day. If you don't know Jesus yet, I highly recommend it, and if I can be a part of that at all, I would be honored. But you don't need me. He is ready and he loves you for who you are. I was lost. I still get lost and he finds me every time. Is the reason I'm still here and doing this. So if you want to come along on the journey, I'd love to have you. This is a space I hope can be safe and open for anyone, and safe and open for myself, and that's what I hope to maintain it as. And yeah, the best is yet to come. More coming soon.